So it's International Women's Day, and I thought we'd get together, us women, and just talk a little bit together about what leadership looks like to each of us at this point in time. So I'm Jude Kelly, and I'm the Master of St Catherine's College.
I'm Elizabeth Hamilton. I'm the JCR President at St Catherine's College.
I'm Shraddha Gautam. I'm a student ambassador here at Catz.
And I'm Julie Gartold. I'm a student ambassador at Catz and a fourth-year biology student.
Fourth-year biology student. Okay, I mean, let's start there, because a fourth-year biology student, when the college was created, which is 63 years ago, would definitely not have been a woman. And actually the master wasn't a woman, the president wasn't a woman, and I don't think there was an alternative ENTS organiser anyway, because they didn't have such a thing as an alternative ENTS. No. We'll come back to that. So as a woman scientist, how do you think things have changed, and have they changed enough?
I think we're definitely on the up from what we used to be, and there's a lot of effort going into, as it should be, going into educating people about women who have made a mark in science, in history. People like Mary Anning, for example, or people who, without realising it, or without even permitting it, like Henrietta Lacks, have changed science and had a huge impact in the way that we should credit these people and the way that we should interact with the way that people view science and the way that people see who invented things and who owned information or land or the development of knowledge through science. And there's a lot of work on that, particularly in the first few years in biology courses and in other sciences as well. And it's really incredible to see.
Great. I love that gesture you started with. You said, it's on the up. Mm-hmm. And also that you've drawn attention to the fact that there were always women doing sciences in all kinds of contexts. Healers, experimenters, discoverers, but maybe not named as such and not given the fame that they deserved. I mean, I remember when I was young, we were taught about Florence Nightingale, and what we were taught was that she went around with a lamp and sort of just was very, very kind to people. Actually, she was a highly qualified specialist and solved all kinds of issues to do with dysentery and malaria, and was never given the credit, because I think women were thought to be carers, not necessarily forensic scientists. How do you think that leadership has changed since you were young? Has it changed enough? Do you feel that you look like a leader, that people will look at you and think, yeah, a leader? What does it mean to you, women's leadership?
I think it's a very, very deep question, and I think it is very important to kind of address it, that maybe 100 years ago, someone like me would not be considered a leader. Someone would look at me and go, if you're in the room, it's probably to bring sandwiches. But today, I think it's very clear that we could walk into a room and be considered experts in fields that we sort of work in, we have knowledge in. And it's just such a great thing to be able to see that change in the world. Today, you look at, global forums, discussions, women are prime ministers, they're presidents, they're leading research teams, like you said, they're supervising. And I think that's just a very, very important demographic shift that's happened in our generation. We get to be a part of it.
Does it make you feel more confident that you have a place and a voice, because you think, oh yes, I can see the people around me and they have that place and that voice? Does it make a difference to you?
Absolutely. I mean, it's always hard to be the first of anything, the first woman in the room. But if you walk into the room, there's already a woman sat there and she's made it to the top. It kind of makes you feel like it's not an impossible feat. You belong there, mm-hmm. and the room is sort of designed around that.
Mm. So your confidence as the leader of the JCR, as the president of the JCR, which is a great title, isn't it? How do you introduce things that demonstrate that you're caring for all the students, which is your role, but you're also trying to raise students who've been able to have less power, less agency in the past? Not just women, obviously, but any, if you like, characteristic where people have been thought to be othered.
I think it's something that you notice when you're in any discussion, whether it's a committee or an open meeting with the whole JCR there. There are certain people who will always speak up on issues that are affecting them, which is great. You want that engagement, but it's being able to spot those people who definitely have something to say, but maybe just aren't expressing it, and trying to get their angle on it as well. And whether that's a woman or any other minority who might feel that they don't want to speak out themselves, it's being able to appropriately say, and what do you think? And open up the floor to them and get their opinion.
So, do you fear anything as going out as a young woman, when you leave the college and you're going back out into the world?
Yes.
What is it, as a woman in particular, that you think you are going to lead with?
Wow. I think one thing that I never want to lose is confidence. I think being at Catz in such a supportive environment, a lot of us ambassadors, we work in teams, there's men and women combined that we kind of work together to try and spread the message. I think I never want to lose the confidence that when I walk into a room, I have something interesting that people want to hear. And that's something that you have to foster it. You're not born with that confidence. And it's given to you in classrooms, in groups, by teachers that, you can relate to. And that's the thing that I kind of want to go into the world with.
Great.
I want to have something to say.
And if you had something in this year, the JCR President, you're not the first woman to do it, but you're one of a few who have done it so far in the history. What is it you want to imprint as part of your women's leadership?
I think actually really similar to what Shraddha said, it's the confidence that you give to the role that another woman can do that after you, but it's also the confidence you take from it yourself. I didn't come to university thinking that I was going to get involved in student politics at all or have any kind of a leadership position, but the environment here was such that I looked at it and I said, actually, I think I could give that a go. And I just love the idea that women after me would do the same and feel even more confident in it, having seen a woman do it before.
And then, just going back to your point about women have been adventurers, scientists, discoverers, they've been all these kinds of things, and had children if they've been able to or wanted to. It's a lot on their plate, isn't it? There's a lot on your plate. Who has inspired you to be who you are?
Wow, great question. I think I was talking to a friend about this the other day actually, and I would say there's so many different small but impactful butterfly effects that keep kind of spurring me on to do what I do and continue down in science and continue having the confidence to do sport, do a bit of everything, talk to people. And I think, of course, at the very forefront was my mum, who gave up so much for me. I mean, moving across Europe to come here and give me a better education.
Where does she come from?
Poland. So I was born there. My mum didn't know the language and came here, learned the language at the same time as I did, but I was a kid, so I had it a bit easier. And she still continues to learn and impress me every day, while struggling now, having grandkids and still meeting new people and having a new role, and she's incredible. And they really taught me that you can't just do it all. There's no barriers to anything. They showed me everything and said, try it out. If you like it, do it. If you don't. So they always encouraged me. Like I said, my teachers and all of the female figures in my life showed me that it's okay to be you, and to kind of do what you're interested in, because that's all that matters. And as long as you find it fun, that's all that counts.
Yeah.
To now, I think a very big one is I have a part-time job at home where I interview alumni from my old school. And I got involved with that following kind of doing ambassador roles here and contacting alumni and things like that, and that was really cool. But when I was a student, the only cool alumni I knew of were singers and performers. And I didn't know of any female scientists, and it turns out there's so many. So I get to do interviews with people who are scientists, lecturers, people who are kind of doing the things that I'd love to do, and they gave me the confidence to realise that you can do it, and you don't have to get it right. A lot of people wanted to be one thing, became another, and are now really good and influential in their field. But I think every single person that has influenced me has done so by showing me that if you do what you love and what you're passionate about, you can do it. And there are no restrictions or boundaries to it.
Yeah, so many impacts.
So many.
Yeah, I think that critical mass is so important, other than just, it's one woman. There's always been one woman or a few women, but it's when you have many, many, many that you think, well, actually, we can really cover the whole basis. We can do everything from, playing hockey to swimming the channel to actually very, very small, tiny things that just go with making every day matter. I think that one of the things that causes me the most pain is when I look at young women like you with all the vitality and the potential and the excitement, and then I cross over and I think about the girls in Afghanistan in particular who have just been told, not for you, you cannot do it, you will not do it, it will never happen for you. And I think what brutality, but also what a loss to the world.
Yeah.
Why would the world not wish everybody to be equal with all the talent that's out there? It's a great, great sadness and finally utterly, utterly bewildering, really. But then flip it over, and as we say, since it's something to celebrate, look how far we've got, despite all of that. And as long as law doesn't let us down,
Yes.
as long as we don't have dictators who go say, do you know what, we don't care about law, we'll just get rid of it, then whoever sits here in 100 years' time, let's hope that the story is even better. But for the time being, I think happy International Women's Day,
Yeah.
and I'll take you three as my inspiration. Thanks very much.